Oh, I love slang. I think every community should have their own slang and dialect. You know what I mean? That's like different parts of different countries.
Slang is spice, slang is flavor, slang is swag. That's all that is. There's always gonna be slang.
I think slang is a part of the black experience. That's how we're very colorful. We're very graphic when we talk black people. I talk in slang. I think that belongs to us.
You know, like, if you think about it, in the community, like the projects and stuff, we was brought up with slang. That's how our parents talk to us. So I feel like it's always gonna be slang. Slang always gonna be here. It's slang all over. You go to different hoods, they done got everything.
If you go into any other culture, they use slang. They might, when they go to a job interview or they go to a something formal, they'll get kind of formal. They'll change their language. But when they get back home or when they get back to the hood or wherever they go, they use slang.
I grew up with slang. I think slang is a cool thing. It brings out more of your character.
What degree and how do you hear people use it? What is your opinion?
I slang to the knife power.
Slang is kind of taken out of context too, because that's kind of like people make their words up every day. And if I don't know what you're talking about, it's like another language, like Spanish.
There's some slang. Me being 30, I feel like I'm old because it's like, I'm like, what's that word? What does that mean? I'm like, what happened? Because I was, you know, when you're younger, you know so much of these slang, but it's like being used so much now.
When you create your own words, it gives you a certain type of feeling.
So, you know what I mean? You got all these dudes making slime, and what's slime, and mooma, and...
Out here, it's eesh, huff, nuff, da-da, this, that, buff, that, da-da.
No, not to disrespect no rappers, but slang is cool, but I need to know what you're saying, you know what I mean? Because if I sit on my track and say blue eyes and blue eyes mean death, who the hell knows that?
Like, you take a word and you change it around 1,000 times, but that's your style. That's what you do.
Our people, black people, people that particularly Brooklyn, New York, we have a slang, and I love to hear it. It's very colorful. It's creative.
I don't look at slang as any type of way, because I could change my etiquette whenever. If I need to talk sophisticated, I can talk sophisticated.
But they have about 3 or probably more different dialects of French. Every community needs slang.
What about our Brooklyn slang? Because we all got our
got our own slang,
specific
our own accents and all of that. You know what I mean? So, you know, and as far as me making music, I love it because I get to play on different words. I get to say this one word 3 or 4 different ways, and it's supposed to be pronounced a specific way.
Like what?
Say construction. You can change that. You can change that around. You know what I mean? Like, you're making me think now.
Your observation, do you feel slang is overused or not?
Yeah, it's overused. So much that they made ebonics out of it. What is ebonics? Like, come on now, let's be serious. That's another way they downgrading us as people, but we'll take that and make it something.
Would you say slang is overused in our community or not?
Yes.
Overly? Nah, you need slang. That's how people connect to each other, especially younger folks. I'm an older guy now, so I may stay away from certain types of slang, whatever, but that don't mean it's bad for like the next generation.
What kind of slang did you grow up hearing?
Wow. In the projects, a lot of, I guess, project stuff.
For example, I need to get a little, just a few old school
slang. Oh my goodness, wow. But yeah, I mean, this is interesting. I kind of left all that stuff.
There's some slang. Me being 30, I feel like I'm old because it's like, I'm like, what's that word? What does that mean? I'm like, what happened? Because I was, you know, when you're younger, you know so much of these slang. But it's like being used so much now. It's like
can't even keep up anymore.
I can't even keep up anymore. You know what I'm saying? I can't even keep up anymore. And at the same time, it's like you see the handwriting in some of these, you know, these kids it's just ridiculous. It's just crazy.
People hear slang so much, they take it with them. And when I mean by take it with them, they take it with them outside of their community. They take it with them in professional settings, in different environments, and everybody don't talk how we talk. You know what I mean? Because I'm talking to you, you're my peer. I'm not gonna go talk to my boss like that. I'm not gonna go talk to my teacher like that. I'm not gonna go home and talk to my wife like that. I'm not gonna talk to my mother like that, or my father. So you know, slang is to be, keep it where it's at. You know what I mean? Know who you're talking to at all times, basically, which we all should know.
It's how you use it, understand? But you can't go everywhere using slang. You gotta know when to use it and when not to use it. When you go on a job interview, you can't use that slang stuff. Understand? That gotta be out the window. You can't be, oh, I'm from the projects and I'm gonna go to this job interview and talk like I'm from the project. You cannot do that. You know what I mean? You gotta, it's a different atmosphere for everything, and you just gotta know that. If people go to school, they will realize that. That's what education do.
It fits what crowd you with. They say you with the cool crowd, you use the cool slang. You with the appropriate crowd, you'll use the appropriate slang. It depends on what type of environment you're in.
You have your hanging out voice and the way you speak, and then you have your job voice. When I hang out with my friends, I swear, I say a lot of vulgar things, and I say a lot of things that I normally won't say at work. At work, you got to be more conservative, and you got to sound like you're educated. Like it or not, this is the real world.
Do you think slang could be hindrance to one's expression?
Yeah, sometimes. Depends on where you're at and what the circumstances are. But it could be helpful sometimes because you can relate to certain people.
In some sense it is, in some sense it's not. It depends on who you dealing with and what they've been through and you know what they know. Because sometimes people don't know no better. They think that's all that is, you know? Like, this is how I talk, and if you don't like it, hey, but they don't know because they never was taught.
As a parole officer, I've worked with guys that come strictly out of the streets, and I don't speak to them. Sometimes I do. I don't speak to them in what you call standard English all the time. I say, yo, man, what's going on? What's popping today? So he can relate to that. Or he might be upset about something, and I might use a word that could, you know, calm him down, and I might have to use a slang.
Do you think that it can be like sort of a hindrance to like the standard American English for children? Like if it's practiced to a high degree?
Depending on the schooling, yes.
From what I'm hearing these days, it's like English is
that's all they know?
That's their second language is English.
So you don't think like
slang is just way too much.
When it's time to be used in a place important, they will still use slang?
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, a lot of them will stumble. I can't say that I don't use slang. I still talk amongst my friends and talk the way I talk. But at the same time, when I go to a job interview, you know, you have to know how to switch it up. You know, your swagger has to adjust to that environment, or else you're going to spend the rest of your life blaming everybody else instead of just, you know, you're still you as an individual. You're still you. It's not changing who you are, but you have to understand that, you know what I mean? When you're in school and you're being educated in school or at the household, you're not taught slang 90% of the time. So you have to know that yes, we use slang, I use slang, but there's a time and a place for everything.
It does hinder. If you can get around some business folks and be like my back and hey yo for shizzle and my nizzle and.
But do you think that would be appropriate to be around business folks?
No way. All right, that's not at all.
So do you think slang could be hindrance to one's expression?
Definitely. I know slang has stopped a lot of niggas from getting jobs before, and you know, half of you niggas out there can't say dick. You know what I mean? So know who you're talking to.
Once you jump on a train full of business people,
and older people, more intellectual people, using slang, you look ignorant. They look at you as an ignorant person.
As far as, alright, if anything, if you want to talk about that as far as kids now, I don't know. Too much of the N-word and stuff. I think there's always been too much of that. Other slang, I don't know. It's kind of harmless to me because I understand young people need that to connect to each other. That's fine, as long as they're not crossing lines and that they probably don't even shouldn't cross.
But aside from just slang, I mean, the way you carry yourself means a lot. People look at you differently, people treat you differently, even by the way you dress. I mean, society just has a certain way of expecting, like, reading an image about you. The way you present yourself, the way you talk, the way you carry yourself, and the way you look is very important.